Hi everyone, and this month at Autobits here, we're talking about something that I like to at least pretend I know a little bit about, and that is bodywork. Now of course there's a lot of ins and outs of bodywork, and I ain't no proper bodywork man, but over the years of working on some pre-loved cars, I've learned a couple tips and tricks. And today I'm going to show you a couple of the tips and tricks that I have learned. This week we're talking about one of my favourite tools, and to be honest one of the biggest time savers when it comes to working on older, classic or even a few year old cars, and that is the Polydisc. The Polydisc is an attachment that goes onto your grinder and spins around at a crazy speed, but unlike your average grinder discs, it's not designed to cut. It actually takes away things such as underseal, rubber coating, stone chip, paint, you name it, or in this instance, rust. So I'm going to use a Polydisc on this subframe, take off some of the scuffy rust and show you just how good they are, and then I'm going to use our own brand Autobits self-etching primer to give it a good coat to paint over. Now this is the subframe for a Mark II Golf, as you can see on the spit behind me, which is a big job in itself, so I want everything that's going on to it to be nice and new looking. Now if you don't want to spend the money to go and get something powder coated or what have you, this is a great cheap alternative. They are designed to not damage the metal in any way, so this can be used on body panels, on subframes, on basically anything. So, with me, let's get started. Now for various health and safety reasons you should always use a grinder with the cover. However, as a professional moron, I don't have one. Now, obviously that footage was sped up, but as you can see, that really didn't take much time at all, and to get it back to bare metal that quickly will save you so much time. I've used them on the entire underside of this car and it used to look covered in underseal, and there is no way I would have done it half as quickly if it wasn't for the Polydiscs. Now as you can still see, there are some areas of rust and stuff that's very hard to get at with a big grinder, so I would use a wire brush attachment on a drill, which of course you can get in store. So once you've gotten this far, it's a really good idea to decide to put on some rust proofing before you bother with etch priming and stuff like that. Now in store we have a wide range of different rust killing products, and to be honest they are all great. It depends on your application. So if you're needing help with rust proofing advice, come in store and ask one of us and we will be happy to help you pick what's right for you. Okay, so you've got it back to bare metal, you've rust proofed it and you're ready to go. You can't leave it like this though. I mean, A, it doesn't actually look that good, and B, it's just gonna rust again as soon as it goes back outside. Using our very own high build etch primer, we're going to spray this on and it will protect it. Now you can't put regular primer onto this. I mean you can, but it's not a good idea because it won't last. This is designed to go on to bare metal and stuff like that and stay on. Now usually etch primers you're not supposed to paint over, you're actually supposed to prime again with regular primer, but with our primer, thankfully you can skip that step and you can paint straight over it. Now I've masked off one half just so you can really see the difference when it's done. So lastly, having primed it, we're going to throw a bit of paint on it. We're going to use this one here, which is satin black. Now often we get people coming into the shop asking what's the difference between gloss, matte and satin. Well, the best way to describe it is gloss is, as the name implies, glossy. It's shiny, a shiny black. Matte is, well, dull, a matte. So think of like a chalkboard, for example. It's the same sort of finish as a chalkboard. Satin, however, is a mixture of the two. It's not as shiny as gloss black, but it's not as dull as matte black, which means it's a bit more of a factory finish. So if you were to look at a brand new subframe, it would have a more satin black finish. As always, when painting something, you want to do multiple light coats instead of one thick coat, because if you do a thick coat, it'll likely run and just won't look good and will take ages to dry. If you do multiple layers of thin coats, you'll get a nice even finish and you'll not have to worry about runs. So we'll skip ahead to having done more coats. And as you can see, already that is a serious improvement over how it looked before. But for the satisfying part, I'll take the masking tape off and you can have a look. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty impressed by that. And it just goes to show, with a little bit of time and some very basic products, you can really make a difference on parts on your car. Because here at Autobits, yes, we like making cars shiny and washing them nicely, but at the same time, we also really care about helping you get the car that you love looking as good as you want it to look. So, hope you learned a thing or two here. Join me next week whenever I'll be testing out another product to bedline this, which in theory should make it last for a very long time before I'll ever need to touch it again. So, thanks for watching. Be sure to share the video and like it and tell us what you think.